Elevated Show. I am your host, Robert Wilson, and I am so excited because this is the divisional round preview at the Beyond Elevated Show. This is when we are going to separate the boys from the men, the pretenders from the contenders, and the good teams from the great teams. It's the divisional round. There's 8 teams left in the NFL playoffs. We got, 8 teams left. We got 4 on the NFC side, and we got 4 on the AFC side. We are excited. We're going to dive into each one of those games one by one. But before we start getting going, I want to introduce my brother from another mother, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Percy Jones. What up, Percy?
What's going on, my brother? This is it. This is the week that I've been waiting for. I cannot wait to get into it. I have one, possibly 2 upsets that I'm predicting, and I can't wait to get going, man.
Hey, I can't wait to get going either. Also, who also need no introduction. He's been on the show. He's been absolutely killing it, loving life, seeing hair grow a little bit long there, brother. Mr. Ryan Lillis, all the way from Arlington, Texas, Texas Tech guy. Ryan, what's up, man?
I'm doing well, fellas. How are y'all?
Doing good. Can't complain.
Phenomenal.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty here, and I'm just really excited to talk with it. Talk through the games and see what you guys think and see where we stand on our picks. So let's get it going.
And last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't introduce Mr. Corey Wilson, coming all the way in from Columbus, Ohio. Corey, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just like Percy said, it's going to be, I don't know if you can even really call them upsets because every team that's left, I think, is pretty explosive and good in their own right. So right now, it's just the cream of the cream.
Absolutely. The cream of the crop. So before we get into the games, and before we get into each one of the individual games, I want to spend a lot of time on the games. I wanted to say one thing about some news that has happened recently in the NFL, and that was that the basically whole offensive staff was let go by the Baltimore Ravens. And obviously you have all of the PR people writing all of the things that need to happen on the Baltimore Ravens side, and you hear the John Harbaugh reading the PR cues and saying that Lamar is our guy and Lamar is our quarterback, and we're getting ready to do everything we can. Percy, do you think this thing is going to be headed into a reconciliation or a get back together, or do you think this is going to end in a divorce here between Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens?
I think it's going to be a divorce, man. And I want it to be a divorce. He's been there a couple years now. We've been getting the same result constantly every season, nothing different. So Ryan, I want to see something new, man. Let's ship him somewhere else that no one would think of.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. I think they ended in a divorce as well. Once they let that staff go today, and with the kind of the antics, if you want to call them that, or just the actions of kind of Lamar on or lack thereof going to the game, I think it's pretty well known now. I think it's pretty obvious that there's something wrong, and I think he's gone. I really do, and I think it's like Percy said. I think it's best for both parties. I think they've kind of ran each other's course. So I think it's a good move for both parties. But Baltimore's gonna need to find a QB, in my opinion.
Man, I think it was headed into divorce, but it seems like Baltimore is on their knees and they're groveling now, and they're trying to make up for lost time. And now they're going to try to give him everything he's asked for. That's how it seems to me. And I think he asked for a new offensive staff, and I think they got him in the room and spoke with him privately, and he wasn't happy with the direction that the offense was going. But if they are looking, the Bears, we have the number 1 pick, and we'll take 4 or 5 first rounders if that's what they want. They can get their quarterback out there. So,
Hey,
for business.
Okay. Hey, listen, I hear you loud and clear. So we're gonna dive right into these games. And we're gonna do something special, guys. This is the division round playoffs, and we appreciate everybody out there who's listening to the Beyond Elevated show. We're gonna be picking against the spread, but we're also gonna be picking the who wins. These are really important games, so we are gonna want to give a prediction on who wins, but we will, throw in the spread. We got to give a shout out to FanDuel, and we know Percy's gonna be picking up upsets and talking about his gambling ways. And if we are gambling anytime, we always gamble on FanDuel. So definitely make sure that you're checking out FanDuel. But we're going to start here with the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Kansas City, the 14-3 Kansas City, the first team, the number one team of the AFC who got the bye. And this is a interesting spread here when you look at Kansas City being favored by 9.5. Percy, who do you got and why?
This keeps right.
Listen, man, this is what I've been waiting for all season. One of these teams that I've been rooting for all season to make it in the playoffs. Listen, man, only way this doesn't happen is if the referees get in here and mess things up. I love everything about Jacksonville. You have Trevor Lawrence, over 4,000 yards passing in his second season. You have Travis Etienne coming off of an injury, over 1,100 yards rushing this year. And guess what? You have Christian Kirk, that's new to the team, from Arizona, where his career was going down the drain, that came up with 1,100 yards receiving and got those extra incentives in week 18 of the last game of the season. All things for me are showing Jacksonville. Now, don't get me wrong. We have Patrick Mahomes, phenomenal. Kelsey, phenomenal. I'm tired of seeing the same teams. I would like Jacksonville to go into KC. It's going to be tough. Andy Reid and them boys is going to be tough. But if Jacksonville defense comes to play, I really think coming off that victory last week, it's a chance. It's a small chance, Rob. But I would love to see. My heart wants to see Jacksonville, but I'm going to take those 9 points all day long. And I'm taking Jacksonville with the 9 points. But the pick to win, I'm not going to disrespect Andy Reid. Again, my heart wants to see it, but I'm not going to disrespect him. So
I was waiting.
That's what, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there.
Okay, so Percy, just to make sure I'm on the same page, you're picking Jacksonville to cover the spread, but Kansas City to win the game, correct?
Yes, because we have to see Kansas City in either the Bengals or the Bills in the AFC Championship.
On an interesting side note, I don't know if you guys know that the NFL, they're having the game obviously in Atlanta. They've already picked to have the AFC Championship in Atlanta. They started selling the tickets today for the AFC Championship. Do you guys want to know the caveat of them selling started selling the tickets?
That pretty much means that they have no faith in Jacksonville.
No, it means that if they're going to have the game in the AFC Championship is going to be in Atlanta regardless.
Okay.
The tickets on the tickets says the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. Ryan, who do you think is going to win the game? I'm being dead serious. You can look it up on your internet now. I'm not joking. Cincinnati is absolutely livid. The owner of Cincinnati is livid. Anyway, Ryan, who do you feel is going to win this game, and who's going to cover the spread?
Well, I certainly think that I think the Jaguars are definitely going in the right direction. I think they've got a lot of the pieces in place they need to be, to run that division. I think if they do the right things in this offseason, I think this could be a huge offseason for them. But I can't go against Patrick Mahomes, and just the playoff Pat is a different animal. He's a different quarterback in the playoffs. And it's kind of incredible that he can do that with how he plays in the regular season and how loose he plays. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs here. I like their defense is okay. It's good enough. It's not great, but I just wonder if those 4 picks last week, if that nervousness and those lights get even brighter this week for young Trevor Lawrence. yeah, I wonder if that plays a factor going forward. And we'll see. But I think it'll be a decent game, but I think they'll pull away in the fourth quarter. But I don't think the Jags are going to cover the points either.
All right, got Kansas City for both. Interesting point here. It is going to be 38 degrees in Kansas City, and there is a chance for light snow. Kansas City on the injury report has Hardman out and also Powell listed as out. Corey Wilson, who do you got here and why?
Before I say that, did you guys know Patrick Mahomes is the only Super Bowl winning quarterback left in the divisional round? It's the first time this has happened since 2006, actually.
Wow.
So that's something to point out as far as his leadership and his experience. And to me, man, I'm excited about this because it's two great play callers, being Andy Reid and Doug Peterson, matching wit for wit, and you have a plethora of weapons all over the field. So this is the game I'm pretty much most excited for. No pressure at all is on the Jags. So they're playing with house money. However, like last week, those costly mistakes and any interception or two, now they can beat the Chargers and play sloppy like that. But if that happens against Kansas City, they will probably bury them. And Jacksonville, to me, seems like they're like the Jekyll and Hyde of the NFL. You know, he'll throw 4 interceptions in the first half, and in the second half, he'll play lights out and play legendary. They're in the top 5 of sacks allowed, actually. And then you play a team like the Chargers with Khalil Mack and Bosa, and you drop back 49% of the time, and you only get pressured 18% of the time, and you do excellent against that pass rush. So, you know, you never know what you're going to get sometimes with Jacksonville. And this week is not the week to be inconsistent. But Patrick Mahomes, it's really tough. What are they favored by 9?
9.5.
9.5? Is that going up? It was 8.5 at first, and then it was 9, and it just keeps climbing. So I'm with Percy. I'm going to take those points definitely, but it's tough to go against Pat Mahomes in that experience, and it seems like he's at another level with his leadership this year. One thing I will say is that the Chiefs are the last 9 games, they're 1-7-1 against the spread. Okay. They're 0-4 against the spread with teams with winning records. So I'm definitely going to take those points. And the thing that worries me about Kansas City really is their secondary, is their liability. They gave up the most touchdowns in the NFL. And the last time they played, they sacked Trevor Lawrence 5 times. And they have 55 sacks this year, and they are second next to the Eagles. I think Eagles are first, and they're second in sacks this year. So it's it's going to be a chess game played on that field, and I just can't wait to see it. One thing, I'm going to make a prediction. My surprise player for this game for Jacksonville is Evan Ingram, and I think he could have a huge game.
That's a good one.
What's going to be life or death for the Jacksonville is if they give Etienne the ball. You know how I feel about running that ball. And if he has 22, 23 carries, that's the way you beat Kansas City, and you keep Patrick Mahomes off that field. And that's the only chance that the Jags have. The first game they played, he had 11 carries, and they got smashed. So that's the key for Doug Peterson, is to keep Etienne touching that ball frequently and often, and I think they'll have a chance.
Yeah, and Rihanna said, yeah. All right. All right. That's basically what I hear from everybody who has doubts about Patrick Mahomes. One of the only quarterbacks to ever in the history of the NFL go to at least the AFC Championship and above in every year that he started. He's been doing it for 6 years now. He's battled with the best of them, from Josh Allen to Tom Brady to whoever you want to name, and it seems like he always just happens to come through. Every single year we talk about, well, maybe he's losing Tyreek Hill, and maybe it was this, and maybe it was that. And every single year he's an MVP candidate or wins the MVP, and he takes his team to the AFC Championship or Super Bowl and has a Super Bowl win. And like Corey said, is the only quarterback right now that has been starting and on any team that's left of the playoffs that has won and who has done it. He has the king, Andy Reid, sitting back there, who is one of the only coaches that is left that has won a Super Bowl. This is a tried and true team. They got to sit and watch last week. Jacksonville squeaked into the playoffs by having to win the last 6 out of 7 games. Yes, they're playing with house money, but there is no way that they go to Kansas City and beat Kansas City at home in the playoffs. Kansas City is going to come out. They're going to look sharp. They're going to look good. And people are going to be getting ready for the AFC Championship. So I like Kansas City. I like the points, definitely. And there is one thing that I definitely wanted to say, because it seems like in the media a lot, it can't be both, right? So people are like, oh, okay, well, is Tyreek Hill going to not be able to do it without Patrick Mahomes? Or is Patrick Mahomes not going to be able to do it without Tyreek Hill? And unlike Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, it just seems like it just worked out for both. Tyreek Hill is still one of the best receivers in the league, and Patrick Mahomes is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So sometimes it's not one or the other. Sometimes it's both. And, Tyreek Hill's not in the playoffs anymore, and it is what it is. But also when we look at Jacksonville, I want to make sure that when we say they're playing with house money, it's not because they're just on this unbelievable run, winning like 8 of their last 10 games. It's also because of Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine. And people forget Urban Meyer the first year. You can't really hold that against somebody, right? It was a lot of stuff being talking about Trevor Lawrence last year, and in the first 4 or 5 games of this year, with people saying, like, is this sure he should have been the number 1 pick? Maybe this wasn't the guy. Maybe it wasn't this. This is his second year in the league. He's in the divisional round playoffs with a first-year coach, the first year with Doug Peterson, who's a great coach. But there's something special here about Trevor Lawrence, and I think people need to actually recognize here that he's looking really, really good, and he's doing some very good things. Yes, we talked about the 4 interceptions last week, but he came back and he completely won the game for his team, not throwing any interceptions in the second half. So really, like Ryan was saying, the sky's the limit here for Jacksonville next year, but just don't think that they're going to be able to get it done against Kansas City. So I want to move on here, and I want to talk about game number 2. And game number 2 is obviously a very interesting game. It is the New York Giants going in to play the best team in the league with the best record in the league, the number 1 team coming out of the NFC, the number 1 seed coming out of the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, they're back. We're in the playoffs again with the number 1 seed. The NFL Super Bowl, the road to the Super Bowl comes through Philly. Percy, the Eagles are favored here by a good 7.5. And the Giants are coming in off of playing a really good game here against Minnesota, and Daniel Jones having the best game that he's had in his career, and the only quarterback in the history of the NFL playoffs rushing for over 70 yards and throwing for 300 yards in a game. Percy, who do you got, and why? Spread is 7.5.
So this is the game I was talking about.
Can't wait.
This is the game I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We have Barkley playing for a contract right now. We have the quarterback playing for a contract right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have Barkley, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. He snapped last week. Mm-hmm. We have the quarterback, I think, like 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So nothing great.
Where's Rihanna when I need her?
But listen, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. If Jalen Hurts was at full capacity, not injured at all, Eagles all day. I'm kind of in the middle right now, guys, because they're saying that his injury, if you touch him in that area, he's in pain.
Jalen Hurts was removed off of the injury report 3 days ago.
Cool. They can say what they want for the report. It was just announced yesterday that insiders said if you tap him on that area, he's in pain. So he's talking about 60 minutes of the kind of football that the Eagles play when they use him. For him to be effective, he has to run the ball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
So if he's in pain due to the touch, will he be able to make it 60 minutes? And multiple reports said it's not like they can just shoot him up in that area and the pain goes away. It's not that kind of injury. So I don't know, but all my friends back home in PA in Philadelphia or Eagles fans, I would love to see the Eagles make it to the NFC Championship and go. I want the Eagles to go. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win the game. But I like the Giants to cover the spread. But I want the Eagles to win. I think the key to victory, if they run the ball and give the ball to Miles Sanders like he deserves the ball, Ryan, I think the defense is going to come to play. They have the people to rotate on that D-line. The secondary is back. So all signs are showing Eagles to win this game. At home, they should win this game, Corey. I just don't like them to cover the spread. But please, somehow tell your coach to give the ball to Miles Sanders. He deserves the ball. 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. He could have easily, in my opinion, guys, had over 1,500 yards rushing this year. They just always find a way to not give him the ball. That's all.
It's not like we were the third best rushing team in the league.
It doesn't matter. Imagine
who was the first? Who was the first?
It wasn't the Bears.
Well, the leading rusher in the NFL came from the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Bears didn't have the leading rushing attack in the whole league.
The Bears were the number one rushing team in the NFL.
I don't know about that. We will check it. Yeah, we'll check it. We will check it.
What's your quarterback? Because the leading rusher.
As far as a team, the Bears were the number one rushing team.
Look that up, Ryan.
I guess we don't. I mean, I guess it's like looking at a team.
He's almost right. They're number 2. San Francisco 49ers are number 1.
That's okay. Who was 3?
Did they include that last game, or is this regular season?
It's regular season.
Oh.
The Bengals were 3rd.
Okay. So
the Bears.
Yeah,
my soldier boy voice.
I can't even believe that he said it right now. It's like, is this a divisional round playoffs? Is this like Groundhog Day, or is this like? Are we talking about teams that are currently playing? Or are we talking about teams that are getting ready for the draft? Like, I don't even know. But anyway, okay, Percy, good choice. Go ahead, Percy. Do you have anything else to say about this game?
No, I'm done, man. Look, go Eagles. I want all my friends to be happy on Sunday evening. I don't want nobody in my group chats crying and complaining.
Wait, Sunday evening. Do you realize that like this game is on Saturday night? So like they did.
Yeah, but when Eagles fans lose, it carries on days and days and days.
I don't know if you saw the data statistic that they were posting today about how like the difference between the city of Philadelphia getting a playoff game on a Saturday night and how much more drunk people get in the daytime leading up to the game because they don't have to get up and go to work the next day on a Sunday, and they're just it's gonna be bad. Percy.
I do have a question for you, bro.
Yeah.
Why is so many people selling their tickets? If you guys are diehard Eagles fans, the resale value right now is insane.
Yeah, because
why are you guys not going to the game?
Because people in Philly want to get paid, bro. This is a blue collar city, and they're Philly fans that are buying the tickets. Like, I mean, I saw that there was tickets going for like upper deck tickets going for $3,000 a piece. It's about the turn, bro. You know what this is. You know, like we are a true. There's probably like 4 or 5 of these. Like,
well, how about this?
Chicago, Philly. We're a true sports city.
So, Rob, if y'all make the NFC Championship, let's find some tickets and go, bro.
We can make that potentially.
He's stuttering.
No. I'm saying we could make that potentially happen. That would be next Sunday. That would be next Sunday.
Yeah.
I would rather actually wait on next Sunday because I am so confident that we could just
Arizona. Go to Arizona.
Yeah.
Just trying to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was invited
Here we
to
go.
the Super Bowl. You all know Hammond, Percy.
Oh yeah, Michael.
Hammond went to the Super Bowl when they were in Minnesota, and I was like, nah, it's the Patriots. And they won, and he was there, and I was like, never again. So if they do, we might be out in Scottsdale. Ryan?
Sign me up.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are. I think they're going to win this game for sure. I just don't see New York having enough. I think Jalen is going to be just fine. They have plenty of weapons. I think Miles Sanders is. I think he's underutilized, like you guys said. That was going to be one of my main points tonight. Is this guy needs the ball in his hands? The game it's more electrifying when the ball gets to him more and big plays happen. He makes things happen, and he does the little things well. And I don't think he gets enough praise. Speaking on enough praise, I love AJ Brown on the outside. I don't think he gets talked about enough either.
He was top 5 receiver this year in the league, period.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a question by stats that he is.
1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal year in coming over, and I think I really like his game too. And I hope Jalen's 100%. But if this is the playoffs. If you're not, you got to go. You got to suit up. And you got to do it. I think he's tough enough to get it done. I just don't see the New York Giants having enough on offense to keep up with you guys. I just don't think that. I think putting that on Daniel Jones, yes, it's his job, but is he capable of doing that? Like Corey said last week, that's the best we've ever seen him play, and I still don't even think that would be enough to beat this team. I really don't. In Philly. So yeah, I really like what they're doing. And then the defensive side of the ball, the Eagles, the front seven, the defensive line is just Fletcher Cox. They're monsters up there. They know what they're doing. They're experienced. They're Grizzly vets, and they play big in big moments. So I really like this team, and I've got them. The points and the win. So I think they take care of business up there in Philly.
Corey?
You guys are disrespecting the New York Giants a bit. Now, I know that Philadelphia has beaten them the last 9 times at home. I know Philadelphia has beaten them twice this year. I know that. But like I said, Daniel Cinderella Jones, and the clock has not hit 12 yet. And I think he may come into Philadelphia, spray painting the Liberty Bell, snatching cheesesteaks out of people's hands. Ooh. I think the key to the Giants winning is a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley. By that, I mean 20 plus carries, 5 to 8 receptions, and letting Daniel Jones do his thing on the boots and the misdirection boots and the quarterback sweeps. I think that's a way to keep Jalen Hurts off the field. And guys, the last 2 games, Jalen Hurts threw 3 interceptions. He just doesn't look like the same guy that he looked like earlier in the year before that shoulder.
What did he throw for the whole season? 5?
Hey, we're talking about his shoulder being hurt. He was injured. That was before he was injured. You know, he's injured now, right? So
he's not on the official injury report.
He's not on the official injury report, but check this. He looks very rusty. Now, the only thing that makes me nervous is that the Giants had no sacks last week against Minnesota. So I just really don't feel like they can get to Jalen Hurts as far as their defense. And that sort of, if that happens, I think the Eagles are going to wipe the floor with them. I have a prediction. Now, the team that's going to win this game is whoever gives the running back the most carries, Miles Sanders or Saquon Barkley, whichever one of those guys. Look at the end of the game. Whoever has more carries, that's going to be the team to win the game. I guarantee it. Now, Jalen Hurts has 760 yards rushing. Daniel Jones had 708 yards rushing. So also the team which keeps that quarterback in that pocket, that is going to be the team that prevails as well. So we will see. I'm still going to I'll pick the Giants with the points, but I don't think they're going to win. I think it's going to be a closer game than you guys think because it's a division opponent.
You guys said the same thing last week with Seattle and San Francisco when they lost by 20.
But this Seattle and San Francisco are different than the Giants in Philadelphia. This is the NFC East, right? This is the best division in football, correct?
Wait, are you suggesting that the San Francisco, the difference between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seahawks is greater than the best team in the league?
I'm suggesting that Saquon Barkley is a monster, and even though Christian McCaffrey, like I said, is the golden goose, I just think the way Brian Daboll coaches those guys, if he's a little unpredictable sometimes, but if he gives Philadelphia a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley mixed in with a little bit of Daniel Jones Cinderella magic, I think this game will be closer than you think.
And define close.
What is it, 7.5? I say 4 to 5 points. They'll probably beat them by, I don't want to say just 3. I say 5 points. That's my prediction. And it'll come down to the fourth quarter, and Jalen Hurts will probably do something magical as far as scramble out of the pocket and get a first down to seal the victory. But I think it's just going to be a little closer than you guys think. The key, man, if they can get the Jalen Hurts and punish that shoulder and make it, and didn't they say they had a bounty on him? If they got some bounty hunters out there in New York on that defense that want to put him down, things could change drastically. What if Jalen Hurts? Who's your second string QB?
Me.
Yeah, right. You guys
me. Basically, me.
Fu Chow.
Minshew, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not going to listen. The weapons, the outside weapons, we have the secondary. So one of the best, top 5 secondary, top 5 running game, top 5 passing game, top 5 quarterback running game, top 5 defense. We're the best team in the league. It's not just because of the quarterback. We can beat teams when Jalen Hurts plays bad. We can beat teams when Jalen Hurts plays good. We can beat teams when the running game isn't there. We can beat teams when the passing game isn't there. We can beat teams by rushing the quarterback. We can beat teams by stopping them from running the ball. We can beat teams by making them turn the ball over. We're just built like that. And I'm glad that we are. And this is that we talk about the analytics. And this is why you build your roster around a quarterback that is on his rookie contract. So you can actually get leading players, our offensive line, our defensive line. I mean, just it's a complete team. It's the most complete team in the NFL. We're not reliant on heroes making huge plays like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Believe me, we all love to have a hero that can do those things. It changes games. Don't get me wrong. Like that's better to have. But when you have a complete team like we had when Nick Foles did something similar. Shout out to Alshon Jeffrey for coming to a real city and winning a Super Bowl. Ooh. So, hold on, I'm not done. Shout out Alshon Jeffrey for coming to a real city and winning a Super Bowl, similar to what AJ Brown is about to do. So, I all I'm saying is that if I take my fan hat off and I put my analytical hat on, we're a better team up and down. The Giants snuck into this. They hit a big skid at the end of the season. Daniel Jones was, if you look at the way that he passed the ball for the entire year, he had like 2 games where he threw over 300 yards, and everything else he had like 8 games where he threw under 200 yards. You can't name successful good receivers on the New York Giants. We lock down, and either we're going to lock it down on the outside or we're going to lock it down on the inside. But for them to beat us, they need to do both.
Hey, he's had a heck of a last 3-game stretch here, Daniel Jones. And I'm
Okay.
impressed. I'm impressed that you guys have 4 people that is in double-digit sacks on Philadelphia. What beats that is coaching. Now, if he can, it's easy to. I hope Brian Daboll calls a good game. That's what it depends on, and we'll see. He's up and down with what he does. So
Daniel Jones had to run for 70 and throw for 300 to beat the worst defense in the league last week. We are one of the best defenses in the league. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, that was the point I was about to get to. Is also we have to factor in that this was against the Vikings secondary. Wasn't saying much, but this Eagles secondary is a whole another animal, and I would love for you guys to name the 4 receivers that are going to be out there for the Giants on Sunday right now. I'll wait. It's just they don't have any left there. And this is a great secondary. I'm talking great. You got Darius Slay, you got Reed Blankenship, you got Johnson out there as well. These guys are ball hawks, man, and they get up in your face and they play physical. Darius Slay is up in your grill every single play, jam, man to man. It's not going to be like they're not going to be able to run around like they were up there in Minnesota with their, basically playing against 7 people on the defense. But that's just what I had to comment about.
Shout out our boy from back in town, Reese Allen, for hitting the show up. Yeah, I see we're up here shifting like retired players. Last thing, Corey, is that you say, and I don't blame you. I hear what you're saying. You said basically that the Daniel Jones has been coming off of a good 3 to 5 game stretch. Well, let's go back to week 16, or let's go back to week 14. Week 14, they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles 48-22. We smashed them. Week 15, they played the Commanders and beat them 20-12. The Commanders are really known for their stellar defense. Week 16, they beat the Minnesota Vikings 27-20. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings 27-24 on the last second field goal. The Minnesota Vikings are known for their stellar defense. Week 17, they beat the Indianapolis Colts 38-10. The Indianapolis Colts are known for their stellar defense. Week 18, they lost to us again, 22-16. And then in the wild card playoffs, they beat the Minnesota Vikings 31-24. The Minnesota Vikings are known for their stellar defense. So when you talk about how this run has been where he's been playing so good and so well, okay, I'll give it up to Daniel Jones. You've earned a contract. The Giants are going to be forced to re-sign you with the way that you've played the last 5 or 6 weeks. They're not going to give you over a $200 million contract, but they're going to give you a 3-150 or a 2-120 or something like that. You're going to get paid, and good for you. You deserve it. But
you know how
Cinderella Jones is going to turn into a favorite character of mine from the movie Horrible Bosses, when Jamie Foxx played a character with the last name Jones, but it wasn't Cinderella Jones. It had another ring to it, and you guys can watch that movie when you get a chance. Corey, is there anything else that you want to add? By the way, I have the Eagles by the spread and the Eagles to win the game. And by the way, when we win the game, that since we had the best record in the league and the best record in the NFC, like Percy said earlier, that means that immediately we don't have to wait for anything else. The NFC Championship will be in Philadelphia. Corey,
I'll close with just saying this. Now, I have the Eagles winning the game as well. I think it'll be a better contest than you guys think. But you know how it is when you play division opponents. Mm-hmm. Strange things happen when you play those teams in your division that you knock heads with every year. And I'm going to just leave it at that. Let's see what happens.
Great. Okay, so that was a good update. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, that's really emotional for us because I'm a specific Eagle fan, and I know everybody has a different team. But actually, we're going to move in to Sunday's game. So those 2 games are on Saturday, and you want to just talk about the NFL. Just like this is the type of league that they have a lot of trouble with a lot of things outside of football. But when you talk about the ratings and when you talk about the scheduling and when you talk about like just knowing how to market their league, they get it right. They get it right. And those are the two games that happen on Saturday. They start the Sunday ticker with the main slot on Sunday at 3 p.m. And I believe this is the game of the week. It is the 13-4 Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow going into the Buffalo Bills. Oh man, this is a game. The Buffalo Bills, with the Buffalo Bills being favored by 5.5. The power ranking overall for the Bengals by PFF metrics is 4. They have the 11th defense in the league, and they have the number 1 rated offense in the league with that receiving core: Joe Mixon, Perrine, and Joe Burrow, and Mr. Chase on the outside, who, by the way, has never had a playoff game where he hasn't caught a touchdown or had at least 80 yards receiving. Going into the Buffalo Bills, who have the first power rank overall, according to PFF, the 6th ranked defense, and the 3rd ranked offense. This is a showdown. Cincinnati was in the Super Bowl last year. Buffalo Bills lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in a heartbreaker. The Buffalo Bills were picked to win the NFL Super Bowl at the beginning of the year by FanDuel and by most sports sites, and this is the biggest test that they have had all season. The last time that they played, something horrible happened on the field, and we weren't able to finish the game. But we're going to finish the game on Sunday. Percy, who do you got and why?
Woo! Man, listen. This is probably going to beat the ratings of the Cowboys and Tampa Bay game last week. I think the Bengals are a very good team. I think they outdid themselves last year, and they're going to be a team to be around for the next couple of years. But this year, with what you just said happened last time they played, I really don't see the Bills losing this game. I believe they're already a phenomenal good team. Let's
Bills
not
Mafia is going to be
let's
rocking.
let's take nothing from the Bills. They're already a phenomenal team.
That
But
stadium is going to be rocking on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I think they're playing with a little extra now. You know, playing for DeMar Hamlin. I mean, Diggs, Knox. Corey said it last week. Singletary, Cook. Who's the second receiver? I can't think of his name right now. Is it Dick?
Mr. Playoffs himself.
Yeah, like I mean,
catching 5 touchdowns in a playoff game.
And Josh Allen, they won a tough game last week, a close one, but he has to make up for his last 2 games. So the Bills are going to be a phenomenal game. Bills are going to win a close one, I believe. But I think there's going to be a lot of points put up. And we're going to see the Bills in Kansas City again. That's my prediction. Bills in Kansas City again. I mean, Diggs, we say it every week. You could throw the ball to Diggs. He's going to find a way to come down with the ball, Corey. And if Davis does a half of what he did last year in the playoffs when he snapped, I mean, I just don't see how the Bills don't come out of here. And they're at home. So, I mean, that's it right there. That's what I'm going with. You come back to me later.
You're going with the spread too? The spread is very important.
Okay. Spread is 5.5. I don't think they covered the 5.5. I don't think they covered, but they won the game. Yeah, but like I said, I don't think the Bengals have it in the secondary that when they spread out like that. And then last week they had McKenzie and Sinclair?
Apple.
Like, so they have a couple, they have some weapons there where they're going to get it going. And then they got basically, like Corey said, 2 running backs and the quarterback. And they're at home. And they're playing for Hamlin. And they got Diggs. That's all I got, man.
Ryan?
Yeah, Percy, I'm definitely with you there. I think the Bengals are very, very good. But I think this is, like you said, they're going to be playing for something more than just a playoff game. They're playing for their teammate, and I don't doubt the power. I'm a big believer in that. and chemistry and all that stuff is so vital to a functioning football team. But yeah, I think Josh Allen's going to be a little too much in this game. I fully expect after what we saw, he wasn't bad, but they kind of struggled at times and had some costly turnovers. But I think they're not going to play down to their competition this week. I think Josh Allen comes out and goes beast mode. I think he's going to take over the game. I really do. And also Cincinnati, their offensive line, I've been kind of scrutiny. They've received a lot of scrutiny. They do give up a lot of sacks, but they do have some injuries on that offensive line, I believe, this week. And they're going to be facing a physical Buffalo Bills defensive front who likes to get after the quarterback, and they like to hit you in the mouth. And they don't go backwards a lot of the time. And they've got a great linebacker in Milano. I like his game a lot as well. So in Buffalo, I really think the Bills, I think they cover. I think they win the game, and I think they win this one by 7 or 10 or somewhere in there.
One point I want to say before Corey gets on, the Cincinnati Bengals haven't lost since week 9. Just so we're on the same page. Played Carolina in week 9, Pittsburgh in week 11. They had a bye in 10. Tennessee in 12, Kansas City in 13, Bengals in 14, Buccaneers in 15, New England in 16, Bills, but they didn't lose that game. They didn't finish it in week 17, and then beat the Baltimore Ravens 2 weeks in a row in week 18 in the wild card. They haven't lost a game since week 9. Corey?
I'm going to have to agree with you guys. My eyebrows are raised a little bit. I'm afraid for Joe Burrow. And I call him Joe Cool because he's one of the young quarterbacks that's very calm in the pocket. I like his pocket presence. I like the way he sort of moves in the pocket like Drew Brees used to. And I'm very impressed. He's my favorite young quarterback out there. But it's going to be 3 new offensive linemen starting. They helped 2 guys off the practice field this week. So it's going to that's going to be tough to deal with a playoff game with 3 new offensive linemen. Not to say they've never played before, but the deck is kind of stacked against them. But I will say this: Joe Burrow has weapons, and if this game stretches to the 4th quarter, who knows what'll happen? Man, I just don't know what to say.
This is why we watch them, right?
You said, Percy, that 2 running backs, they have 3. I mean, the Buffalo Bills are just they're overmatching Cincinnati right now. They have Hines, they have Cook, and they have Singletary. Hines is sort of the running back that they throw to out of the backfield. And
you think that their running back core or their receiving core is better than Cincinnati's?
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Buffalo has a triple threat back there at running back, plus with Josh Allen, plus with the receivers that they have. It just seems like they are overmatching Cincinnati. And I'm going to
What core of Buffalo Bills on the offensive side, besides the line, is better than Cincinnati? You think that any of their running backs are better than P. Ryan and Mixon?
I think
any of their receivers.
I think they have a team concept as far as running back by committee that is better than Cincinnati's, where they ran Joe Mixon 11 damn times last week, and they're going to run him again 14 times. If you want to be successful at Cincinnati, you know how I feel about running the ball. Joe Mixon should touch that ball 20 times. Who has
the third best rushing team in the league? It's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati.
So I'm just
they're
saying,
facing the number 1 they're facing a top defense in the league.
A top 10 defense. But I'm just saying, what do you want to say? I mean, yeah, you could say maybe Josh Allen's better than Joe Burrow, but their receiving core is not better. So I mean, the Cincinnati is the best receiving core in the league. So where's the besides the offensive line, where's the advantage? Like, where is the over? Where that's what I'm trying to understand.
I think
Everybody's
the advantage is coaching, and the advantage is they have a better team. And I think they have a better team concept. Like I said, they have running back by the committee. Singletary will get 10 carries. Cook will get 8. Hines will get 4 with 5 receptions. Josh Allen will run 6 times. But totality of it, they'll probably put up around 40 total attempts as far as rushing goes. And that matters, and that wears the defense down. And that helps the play action pass as well. And when you do that, and that's how Diggs gets open for those bombs, is they run and then they play action you. You know, I like the play calling that the Buffalo Bills has to offer better than Cincinnati. And with them 3 offensive linemen hurt, it just seems like it's they got a long battle. They're climbing uphill, and I'm going to take the points. I think they're going to beat them by, probably. I said this last week and it was wrong, but I think they'll win by at least 10 points.
okay. I appreciate all your guys' projections, and I do think that there's a lot of merit there. I mean, Buffalo is definitely probably the best team in the league, one of the best teams in the league. But
didn't you say they had the tickets printed already? I mean, I don't want to I don't want to be skeptical about the NFL. And they printed
those Super Bowl tickets last year for Kansas City too. And we saw how that worked out when Cincinnati went to Kansas City and pulled off one of the biggest upsets of all time to Joe Burrow to beat Kansas City in Kansas City and go to the Super Bowl. They have done this. They haven't lost a game.
Right now.
What'd you say?
I said sports gambling is big right now. And
I know.
This is some of the worst, coming from an official, a formal official, I can say this, is some of the worst officiating that I have seen since I have been watching the NFL from game to game to game. So I don't want to be skeptical of what's going on here.
There's no listen, these two teams are about to kill each other, okay? And at the same time, I'm just looking at these matchups and I'm looking at these players, and like, you guys are really, when you talk about disrespecting people,
they have 3 offensive linemen out.
I hear you, but I'm just saying, listen, when we talk about disrespecting people, this is all I'm saying, is that Burrow they haven't lost since week 9. They went to the Super Bowl last year. These teams have the same exact record at 13-4. The Bills are 13-3, but they had that game. They played each other. Cincinnati, if they would have won that and Kansas City would have lost, they would have been the number 1 team in the league. The
Bills are 13-1 in home playoff games. 13-1 in home playoff games.
I'm not saying, listen, home field is so important. I agree. I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying to you is that this Cincinnati team is battle tested. And when we talk about people getting disrespected, let's not forget that you have the disrespect that's been happening as well with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, these guys are for real. This team is for real. Higgins is for real. Boyd is for real. This team is for real. Mixon is for real.
We're not saying that. I love their swag. They have an incredible swag that I love. And
I'm just saying, I'm in Ohio. I know. All I'm saying is that the people, there's been, and it's not just you. There's other sports analysts. They call them double-digit win, a double-digit victory for a team that represented the AFC in the Super Bowl last year and hasn't lost a game since week 9 is a stretch. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good stretch. I'm not saying you can do it. But for me personally, I'm actually going to be the only one on the panel so far, since you guys are talking all this upset madness, to actually pick, not to cover the spread. I'm picking Cincinnati to win the game. I think Cincinnati wins the game, and I think that we start talking about Joe Burrow after he wins this game, and we say the last couple times in the playoffs here, he's beaten Mahomes, he's beaten this guy, and now he's about to come and beat Allen. I think you're going to be starting to talk about him like how people used to talk about Ben Roethlisberger in his first 5 years in the season when he was first 5 years in the league, where you looked at his playoff record and it was like, huh? Like, is this guy like 14-4 in the playoffs in his first 5? And Burrow is making this case. This is his 3rd season in the league. And he is, without question, by almost every analyst, a top 5 quarterback in the league. And he's only lost 3-1 in the playoffs.
The Buffalo Bills defense, they don't blitz a lot, but if they don't send the house on these guys with 3 new offensive
but that's
linemen.
the thing, though, Corey. You keep saying, and I don't agree with you. They should send different pressures at different times, but you have to be careful leaving Jamar Chase in single coverage out there. You got to make sure that you are well prepared to
run
do that.
Cover 2, double him up, put the safety over top of him,
and that's what teams do. But
they're going to have to.
And you act like T. Higgins is not a top 10 receiver in the league.
You can man him up.
Okay.
You can man T. Higgins up.
I think you have to take that gamble, yes, rather than take the gamble on Chase burning you all day.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying that I think that they need to focus on playing, like Corey's saying, playing cover 2, playing zones. You can't just be like, oh, okay, well, 40 or 50% of the time we're going to send the house, because you cannot leave him in a situation with Burrow being prepared for that and throwing it over the top to Jamar Chase. And let's not act like that this man doesn't show up for big games. And the same thing with T. Higgins. And you don't man up a top 10 receiver in the league, Corey. And then also with that, and if they want to go and say, okay, well, we're going to blitz, we're going to double Jamar Chase, and then we're going to try to man up on T. Higgins, you have Boyd in the slot.
He's a great
player. You heard of the Bills Mafia?
No, I'm just saying, listen, shout out to the Buffalo Bills Twitter page. They already got the cameras out there they have the cameras out there already for the live feeds coming in for the tailgating party that's supposed to be starting at like midnight on Saturday night or midnight on Sunday morning. And they already got they're
going to be jumping.
Oh, yeah, they're going to have people coming at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and partying all into the night. And they have the table breaking counter already up to catch all the people that are going to be. Listen, it's going to be hype out there. Yeah. And this is probably going to be the most excited fan base of the weekend. But you can't, it'll probably be
the weather report.
It'll be what you say?
What's the weather going to be?
Weather's going to be 34 and light snow. Nothing. Like not in North New York, not in Buffalo. Like that ain't nothing. Like they're going to be out there breaking tables. So look, first off, both of these teams are, with the way that they're constructed and the way that they're put together, this is going to be a dogfight. Yeah. And also both of these teams are very bright in the future. This isn't like the end of one team's run in the beginning. This is going to be something that we're going to get to see and we're going to get excited for. And when you look at these 3 teams, and I just want to say this before we move on, we are entering a very special time, guys. We're entering that time kind of when Roethlisberger and Brady and Manning were going at it. We are entering that time where it's going to be Burrow, it's going to be Josh Allen, and it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. And every year they're going to have going back and forth and having these battles and seeing what's going to happen. And this is going to be special. This is going to be special. In the next 2 weeks, guys, we're going to get to see a Burrow play Allen and then one of them play Mahomes. This is why we do this. Like this is going to be fun.
Hey, was any of the Bengals receivers in the top 10 in receiving this year?
Yes.
Chase had
no. But Chase didn't play like 5 games.
I don't care. Were any of the Bengals receivers?
He still had 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns.
He didn't play 5 games, Corey.
Hey, well,
listen. All I'm saying is that if you take his average for the year, he averaged in the top 10 for yards, receiving yards of games that he played, and nobody, including you. Okay. Name the top 10
receivers. Right? Diggs was 4th, I believe. What did he have? Like 1,500 yards or something?
Yeah. Diggs didn't get hurt this year. I mean, what?
Okay.
So
Didn't we debate if he was better than Chase or not? You guys said Chase was a better.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You think
Yes.
Stephon Diggs is better than Jamar Chase?
Hell yeah. Yeah. I think he's more of a complete receiver. I think he has more.
What is Diggs better at than Jamar Chase?
Route running, going. Yeah. I think they're both good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, I think Diggs has been in this league longer. He's experienced more. He's been with a couple different teams, and he's, back when he was young, he was more of a hothead. I think he's matured up to develop into one of the top receivers in this league. And we were debating if he was top 5 or top 3. I think I want to put him top 3 now.
No, we weren't debating if he was top 5 or top 3. We were debating if we named him. We were debating if it was somebody else. It wasn't him. It was we did it we just did it 2 days ago. But he's
top 3. He's top 3. He can run every route on the route.
That's when we
I disagree.
The Hopkins conversation.
It was the Hopkins conversation. I completely disagree with you. Yeah. I don't think he's top 3. I don't think he's better than Tyreek Hill. I don't think he's better than Jamar Chase. I don't think he's better than Jefferson.
I think he's top.
I don't. I mean, we can start playing this game if you want to, but I mean, when we really want to play, I mean, you think he's a better receiver than Jefferson?
No, I think these guys, before you start putting them above Diggs, they're going to have consecutive years in this league where they're 1,500 this year, 1,300 this year, 1,200, just like Diggs has been doing.
Tyreek Hill.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I could put him in the top 3 as well.
Jefferson.
These young guys haven't.
Jefferson's done it 3 years. Jefferson's done it 3 years in a row.
Oh, what's his yardage?
So this year we got Justin Jefferson, 1,809 yards, 8 touchdowns. We have Tyreek Hill, 1,710 yards, 7 touchdowns. And then we have CeeDee Lamb, 1,359. If you want to count Travis Kelce, 1,338, but Diggs had 1,429. So Diggs is number 3 this year.
Okay, this year.
Exactly. But he does it.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's number 4. Devontae Adams at 1,516.
Robert, he does it every year.
No, he does not do it every year. I'm just saying,
I'm not going to anoint these young guys.
He does not do it every year. He does not finish in the top 5 every year. Sometimes he finishes in the top 15 and top 10. He's not Jamar Chase
15,
every year.
Come on, man. Come on.
Jamar Chase every year that he's in the league, he is a top 5 average per game yards receiver. Every year that Jefferson
he's been in the league this year. Is he in the top 5? No.
Average yards per game. When he plays, he
plays, the best is you have to be available.
I understand, but it's not like he's ice pick. He's missed like 8 games his whole career. Like, Jefferson? But Jefferson has every year he's the top 3, and it's only been 3 years in the league. Like, I mean, are you really gonna go here right now? I mean, we can.
I'm going here. You're anointing these young guys prematurely.
He's done it 3 years in a row. That's premature.
You talking about Chase or Jefferson? I'm talking about Chase. You're talking about Jefferson.
Okay, talk about Chase. He's done it 2 years.
I know. I seen Jefferson last week have 24 yards in the opening drive and 22 yards for the rest of the damn game. I know that's what I seen.
What did he finish? What did he finish at?
Man, I'm just saying. He's a good receiver, but he don't have that dog in him like some of these receivers do.
Hold on, time out. Corey. I agree with a lot of stuff you say. You just said Chase don't got the dog in him.
No, I was talking about Jefferson on this particular time.
Oh, he don't got the dog in him.
I think he's a good
receiver. Broke Megatron's record.
I think he's a talented receiver, but I'm just saying, you know how some receivers just got that dog in them, and I just think that mentality that Diggs has takes him over the edge and makes him better than some of the top receivers because he has that dog in him. That's all. These are good young receivers. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing them, man. I'm just saying, man. I just can't put them above Diggs. Not just yet. I'll argue with. I mean,
Okay, which one?
Yeah.
You think Chase is it better?
Chase is not better. You have an argument with Jefferson. We can at least debate that. Chase is not better than Diggs.
In what capacity? That's why I want to kind of like, I
All
want to get
capacity as far as Diggs can run every route on the route tree. You
Jamar Chase
understand
can't?
that?
Jamar Chase
can't.
best footwork in the league.
I
I mean,
okay.
he is. He's gonna have to, put
How
a big.
many yards did he have this year?
Yeah,
Who?
he's been great though.
Chase.
He had 12. He had 1,046. He played 12. He played 12 games.
Yeah.
He averaged almost. They got you.
Hey,
Do you want me to bring up a graphic that
Hey,
has him
you have to
compared?
be
Do you
available
want
in
me to
this
bring up
league.
Do you want me to bring up a graphic that has him in the category of Jerry Rice in about 10 different statistics?
You have to be available in this league, buddy.
He's played 29 games.
Let's see what he does this week.
He's played 29 games, and he has. Hold on, hear me out. He's played 29 games. He has 2,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, and a catch rate of over 65%, and a yards per reception at 15 yards.
That is stupid.
That's Randy Moss numbers.
That is just dumb.
And for you to come on this
You
show,
have to be available in this league. So when he gets
he's
4 or
played
5 years in the league and he's not missing
he's
8
played
games
2
a year.
seasons and he's played 2 seasons and he's missed 5 games.
Let me say this. The Buffalo Bills they're playing now, how would you rate their defensive backs and their corners? Not really top like Philly, right? They're not top.
Yeah, I'd say top 15. Top 15.
So what if they get up in here and D him up?
D him up by what? Him having another playoff game where he has less than 80 yards and a touchdown, because he hasn't had a playoff game that has happened. Wait, hold on, and let me just say something else.
You're celebrating 80 yards.
Hold on a second. Do you want me to pull his Super Bowl statistics?
You're celebrating 80 yards receiving. That's what
I said. 80 yards receiving and a touchdown minimum for every playoff game that he has played in.
Man, if you're getting the ball thrown to you 12, 15 times a game and you're a receiver, it's not tough to get 80 yards, buddy. It's just not.
Do you want to know his playoff statistics?
Hey, I want to see what he does this week against the Bills Mafia.
Okay, what do you think he's going to do?
That's what I want to see.
What do you think he's
going
going
to
to
see
do?
the great Chase do something this week against the Bills Mafia.
That's
okay?
fair. That is fair.
And I want to see him stay consistently in this league without getting hurt 6 to 8 games per year.
One year that he's played 2 times. He's played 2 years. He didn't miss one game last year. He didn't miss a game.
He missed 6. He missed 6 this year. 7 this year.
Okay, but remember last year he didn't miss one. Oh, and his team played every game plus every playoff game that there was to play. He played a max number. He played a max number of games that anybody could play in the NFL last year because he was in the Super Bowl because he went to the Super Bowl.
That's true.
Ryan,
in his rookie season, leading the league in touchdowns, receptions. I mean, touchdowns and receiving yards.
Whatever.
In his rookie season. In his rookie season.
Question.
Ryan, go ahead, Percy.
Real quick. Last week, Tre'Davious White followed Jefferson pretty much everywhere he went. Well, White followed Chase this week everywhere he goes on the field.
The Buffalo Bills don't play deep. They don't do that against top receivers. They usually, now they did that last week. They usually play a lot of zone, but you are right. If they do decide, because Corey is right by saying that they do need to blitz. I am concerned with them just taking the stance of that we need, if I'm game planning, that we just need to just send everybody and put them in a tough situation, because if you start doing that, then you're going to make it so they're just going, they're not the type of team that's going to be like, okay, well, we need to stay balanced. They're the type of team that is a good coach team, Cincinnati, that's going to say, okay, we like this matchup here on the outside when you blitz. And like you said, Corey, hold on. Like you said, they don't have a problem throwing it to Jamar. They don't have problems with other teams. Like you were saying, New York needs to give the ball to Saquon Barkley 25 times. The Bengals don't have a problem with that. They're like, if you want to start blitzing, we are going to throw the ball down to Jamar Chase every single time, and we loved that matchup. So I would be cognizant if I was their team of being like, okay, we're just going to start sending the house every play, because I think you're going to run into a problem, and you're going to look up and you're going to be like, oh, by the way, Jamar Chase has 3 playoff games where he has had over 150 yards receiving. So I would be careful on what you wish for by putting a man-covered Jamar Chase against what analysts would say is 100% a top 3 receiver in the league. You could
We
say
didn't say man coverage. We said have somebody over top, disguise your blitzes, sometimes sends a linebacker, sometimes send a corner. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
this is
saying
the
that they need to do.
NFL.
Hey, Corey, that's what I'm saying they need to do. What people have been saying earlier, and you kind of was like, they just need to blitz all game. And all I'm saying is that when you normally blitz, there's not that many zone packages that you have in your blitzing formations. It's usually man. And what I'm saying to you is that you just need to understand that their offensive coordinator and their coach aren't going to be like other teams and be like, okay, well, we're still going to keep it balanced. If it gets to that kind of game, and this is why they're both great teams, because Andy Reid does the same stuff. They'll do the kind of stuff where it's like, okay, well, then when you do that, we're going to do this. And we're going to throw it up to either Higgins or we're going to throw it up to Chase. They average more 20-yard plays throwing the ball than any other team in the league. They are not afraid to throw it downfield. so I'm just saying that is a matchup that we want to watch, is looking at how many times they blitz, which I'm glad that you brought that up, how many times they played man when they blitzed, and how many times did Cincinnati just say, oh, okay, we're going to throw it up, and let's see if your corners can guard our receivers.
Okay, so before we leave, Corey, you got the Bills winning.
Yes.
Ryan, who you got winning?
I took the Bills as well. I like the defense more. Yep.
Rob, who you got winning, bro?
I have the Bengals, and obviously I have the Bengals in the spread.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to still go with the Bills.
I have a question for you guys, and this isn't me like talking shit. I just want to know, in your opinion right now, who's a better quarterback, Burrow or Allen? Who would you take, Percy?
Burrow.
Ryan?
I'll take Burrow.
Wow. Corey? Right now, not with the salaries. Of course, I understand. You'd be a fool not to take Burrow on a rookie contract. But who do you think is better right now?
I told you Joe Burrow is my favorite young quarterback in the league. I've been saying that he is. And I take Burrow over most of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay. And then my next right in this moment, I would take Allen. But like, I've seen, it's like by a nose, and the only little bit of the nose is just because I've seen Allen do things where the Buffalo Bills have complete faith in him to just be like, we're going to empty the backfield. We're going 5 wide receivers. Like Corey said, you are our running back. And
a lot of this stuff is backyard ball, man. Some of the plays he makes. And
But he does it very efficiently, and he has the strongest arm in the league. I mean, there's some things. It's hard to go up to Buffalo and win game. There's some things about Josh. There's not a lot of quarterbacks. Like, I don't think Burrow could maybe handle it, but there's some quarterbacks that can't throw out there in 10-degree weather and lower their head and start running people over. I mean, how many we could go in the highlight reel and look at Josh Allen run people over, throw them to the ground. He is not soft by any means.
That guy played his college ball in the mountains of Wyoming, so this ain't gonna be anything. I mean,
this is and he's extremely accurate, and he can launch that thing. But I do think Burrow's really good. So anyway, let's move on. I know that Corey keeps putting up the 49ers thing, but I don't care. This is the kind of game that we'll look back on, guys, in 10 years and watch this video over and over again, because both of these quarterbacks are going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, if they don't get hurt or barring some kind of career injury, both these quarterbacks are going to the Hall of Fame. Big game. Okay.
What are you going to say if Jamar Chase gets locked up?
What? Define locked up?
Locked up? I mean, locked up, sort of like Jason Jefferson got locked up last week.
Okay.
Locked up.
What are you going to say if he has over 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns?
I've never seen Diggs get
Probably
locked up like that.
probably the thing.
I've seen Diggs get locked up plenty of times.
No, I seen them not throwing the ball.
What?
And him
Do
get pissed
you
on the
want to
sideline.
know?
I've never seen a guy go man to man, follow him around
So
everywhere.
you
he
didn't
is,
watch.
and
So
lock
you
him
didn't
up.
watch. Wait. So you didn't watch the Jets games this year and watch the best cornerback as a rookie, Sauce, lock boy up both games, following him around. Wait, were we not watching the same football game?
I seen
You not
Josh
know who
Allen.
Sauce
I
is?
seen Josh Allen running around playing backyard ball, not delivering the ball to him and he's gonna gets to the sideline and curses him out. I've seen that several times, but I've never
right,
seen like last week with Justin
Sauce
Jefferson.
locked. Go look at the tape versus Sauce versus Diggs on YouTube and watch what that. But to be fair to Sauce, he's a rookie and he's the best cornerback, man corner in the league. So it's not a, and he has to play him twice every year too. But yeah, Diggs don't want it.
Diggs up.
Sauce is the best corner in the league. I mean, man to man.
All right, so you
I
say
won't
that
debate
nobody's.
that.
You're saying nobody's. You said nobody locks Diggs up. Okay, well, I mean, against the New York Jets, he had 3 receptions for 6 targets for 37 yards against Sauce Gardner. Is that would that constitute getting locked? Wait, I have a question. Would that constitute getting locked up?
No, it would constitute Josh Allen running around like a chicken with his head cut off, not throwing the ball and delivering it, staying in the pocket.
Okay,
Sure.
fair. Okay, but how about this? Okay, but they did play again. And my goodness, Sauce is a beast. Let me give you some of the lines this year for Diggs. 6 targets, 4 receptions, 62 yards. 8 receptions, 77 yards. 3 receptions, 37 yards. 5 receptions, 60 yards. 2 receptions, 26 yards. You're making it sound like that he is like this. He can't get locked up. Now, I do believe that he is a very, very, very good receiver. But keep in mind that 2015, he only had 720 yards. 2016, he only had 903 yards. 2017.
Is that why he left? Is that why he left and came to Buffalo? Because it was shitty, messed up quarterback play?
Yeah, I mean, but we don't make it sound like that there's not receivers out there that get. Would you say that Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback? And Jefferson is just, he's got such a good quarterback throwing to him. No, but he still almost breaks Calvin Johnson's record. And
Hey, Kirk Cousins puts up numbers.
Okay, but you make it sound like that it's like Josh Allen. So wait. So it's okay for Kirk Cousins to not throw the ball well to Stephon Diggs, but the same quarterback is throwing the ball to Jefferson, and he's almost breaking Megatron's record, but it's not the same. Like,
come on, you guys, don't forget. You remember back in 2015 when he was going nuts on the sideline. He hated Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, you don't remember that? And they had a volatile relationship. That's why he left.
And I also remember the Minnesota.
Josh Allen did. Look how Josh Allen looked before Diggs got there. When Diggs got there, he was a totally different quarterback, right?
Not totally different.
Totally different.
He played better. Diggs got there his 3rd season in the league.
I don't think Josh Allen is. I think he's a good quarterback, man. But as far as he doesn't deliver the ball. Sometimes he's running around a lot. Like I said, he's playing backyard ball. Not to say it's not effective. He's doing what Lamar Jackson's doing, man.
Okay, well, I mean, he's had 3 seasons that he's finished in the top 3 for MVP ranking. So, I mean, obviously, he's played well.
I'm not saying he's not playing well, man. I'm just saying.
No, elite. He's finished 3 seasons in the top 3 for MVP ranking. He is elite. He is a elite quarterback in the league. You can't name 5 quarterbacks or 3 quarterbacks without naming Josh Allen.
No, he has a tendency to run around sometimes instead of standing in the pocket and delivering that ball. And as far as a receiver, a former receiver, you're running routes. So when I run my route and I stick my foot and I'm doing it, I want it delivered. And Josh Allen's running around back there doing what he does. Not to say it's not effective, But I'm just saying a lot of those numbers are skewed sometimes when he has. There's no way he should have 3 receptions. It's not because he's not getting locked up. It's because he's not throwing him the ball because he's running around.
There was 7 targets that game. And Sauce Gardner has done it to plenty of great receivers, including Tyreek Hill. So you need to watch some Sauce Gardner tape. We'll get back to it. Cowboys versus 49ers. Man, these games, man. Okay, final game. Okay. These games are good. There's a lot of stuff here. Man, I could talk a long time about Purdy. Okay. So the America's team, Sunday night, man, the football just knows how to do this. Sunday night game, the Dallas Cowboys, after beating Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are going to get to travel to San Francisco and get a real test. This real test is what some people and a lot of analysts believe is from a team that is going to be favored to win the Super Bowl, and that is San Francisco. When you look at the favorites now to win the Super Bowl, they are second when they used to be 5 and 6. That means they have higher than us. San Francisco is being bet very high by people doing that, like as Ryan said, the defensive travels. But the Dallas Cowboys are coming in town. San Francisco is only favored by 4 in this game. Ryan, it's the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys.
We're coming to you. Who you got?
Yeah, I this one's really hard for me, obviously, because I'm a longtime Cowboys fan, always have been. Been a lot of turmoil in the 25 years that I've had to endure that. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But I've got Dallas, playing a good game, in my opinion. I think they play it close. I really like their defense. I just think in this game with Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and the way Brock Purdy's playing, and Kyle Shanahan at the helm, and I am not afraid to say this anymore. I really believe that he is the best football coach in the NFL, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though.
No, Ryan, that's a good point. I don't want to belabor the point, but who would be even better? And let's I'm not saying that there's not better. I want to hear from the other people, but let's just take Bill Belichick off the list. Let's just shelf Bill Belichick because it hasn't been him in the last 3 or 4 years. He's one of the GOAT best coaches ever. Let's just remove him from the list right now. Percy, best coach in the league? Who's the best coach in the league?
I think right now.
Ryan's a good point.
I'm sorry. Right now, you kind of have to go with Shanahan, man. He's
Corey?
one of the best. You got to.
It's an argument. Like, I agree with you, Ryan. I'm not saying that you're not like crazy. I mean, he's been doing this with like quarterbacks that should. I mean, you're not. It's not a crazy thing for you to say this with Garoppolo going to the Super Bowl, Matt Ryan going to the Super Bowl. But go ahead, Corey.
I'd have to agree with you, Shannon.
Ryan.
Yeah, I just the job that he's done so far. Even if they, for the record, I think San Francisco wins this game. I think Dallas plays it close. But if this team, goes to the Super Bowl, regardless if they win next week or, I think just the job that he's done, having to maneuver with all of the negative things that have happened to the football team, quarterback room, has been completely depleted. And it doesn't happen very often. And you're sitting here as the favorite to go to the NFC title, and a lot of people are picking them to win the dadgum Super Bowl. I mean, that's an incredible job right there. But now this team is kind of.
Oh, and Ryan, by the way, too, I just want to say, when you talk about these great teams, San Francisco hasn't lost since week 8. But keep going.
Right. So, and the sky was falling back then, or was about to at the beginning of the season. But here they are. So besides that, I love their defense. Their defense is playing really well. I think Geno did exploit a few things that they need to shore up on, especially on some of the extended plays, especially when Geno maneuvered the pocket. It seemed they seemed to lose their man a little bit and let some guys get open. I know Lockett's very talented and DK was, but they kind of got lost in transition sometimes. But I think Dallas and Dak, I think they play really well. I hope Dak plays well. But I think this defense is going to be very good. And I think Dallas's defense is actually going to make things tough for Purdy. I think Purdy's going to have a few issues because I don't think San Francisco's faced a team like this in a while. I think their schedule's been a little bit favorable, but I think I think it's going to be a defensive game in my opinion. I really do.
Do you think Ward's going to follow Lamb?
I think Ward's going to follow him. I think they're going to let that. I think so. I think he's good enough to do it. But CD Lamb, man, he is an explosive guy, and it's a scary thought to have him man to man. I mean, there was a few times he was 30 yards wide open against Tampa, and I couldn't even believe my eyes. But that he's very talented as well. But I got San Francisco. I got San Francisco winning the game. Dallas. I'm going to take them on the points. I think they're going to keep it close. I think it's going to be a close game, very close game. But I got San Francisco moving on, and Shanahan moving on with all those weapons and just the way they can use all of their offensive weapons in the backfield and in the slot and out wide. Expect big things. So.
Ryan, I got a question for you. When the Cowboys, you can look at your screen and you can see it on there so you can see what I'm looking at. When the Cowboys are in 11 personnel, most of the time they're going to have the 3 receivers in 11 personnel. They'll probably move Lamb a little bit over here to the right to try to get him on some single coverage here with even Pollard here in the backfield.
Yep.
Obviously, when they switch over to their 12 personnel with their 2 tight ends, it's Zeke that's usually back there. And they don't play a lot of shotgun with the 2 tight ends in. They put Zeke back there. Oh, they did. Oh man, that software is legit. They moved Zeke back there. Okay, yeah. So Zeke will probably play more in this kind of formation, but they don't run a lot of shotgun out of here. My question to you is that what would you do here if we were looking at this? Obviously, a lot of teams now are always playing that 11 personnel. And Pollard is a better pass catcher out of the backfield, but this San Francisco defense is tough. It's like they're tough. So, are you guys thinking more of that? You guys are going to stick to your 11 personnel and try to spread them out, which is very hard to do, or are you going to try to pound them in the mouth? I mean, what would you want to see here? I mean, I can't even. There's no flaws here,
right?
Because we have them in nickel right now. When we go to their base, and there's no weaknesses here.
No, there's not, and it's a great defense, and it's built to do exactly what we do week in and week out. The thing is, I don't know what they're going to do because Dallas. Every time I say that they're going to run the ball and pound, run Zeke and run, they end up throwing up 31, and Dak throws for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and makes me look like a bumbling idiot. So. I'm going to say they're probably going to mix in both, I think. But I really, these teams, I think San Fran's going to try to control the ball. And I just don't think Kellen Moore is that guy. I think in Dallas, here in the local media and in Dallas media, they want them to run the ball more, but they never seem to really do that. So
another big matchup, Ryan, I want you to talk about. Then we're going to switch over to Corey. This is a very rare thing to do. We're diving into this game, guys. There's a very rare thing here is that you have the second best pass rusher in the league, according to PFF, and Parsons going to be lined up a lot on the right-hand side versus Williams, who's the best offensive tackle in the league. Man, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one. What are you expecting? Parsons is an animal, man, but I mean, Williams is a beast. Williams is a beast.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the big thing from last week that you got to take away is that a big piece that people aren't talking about was back, and he played very, very well. Leighton Vander Esch played a heck of a ball game last week. Looked like he was his old self and not his injured self, like he had. He's been banged up the last few seasons. But if he can play that linebacker position and make the tackles that he made and plug those gaps like he did, shutting down Tampa Bay, he can cause havoc. And he can also. That means Micah doesn't have to move back to inside linebacker and roll up. They can put him and leave him at defensive end if Leighton can, and that just lets him do what Micah does best, which is getting to the quarterback and chasing down quarterbacks. Great linebacker.
Yeah, but San Francisco is a very rare team, and I just changed the formation so you guys can look at it on offense. You do know that they bring that fullback in, and they don't play shotgun a lot out of it, and they still have Kittle out there too. So this is just, I mean, and if you put you guys in the nickel, which you guys play like 67% of the time, you still leave Parsons up on the defensive end. You bring in Curse as your nickel back. You still got Diggs out there on Samuel. Like this is there's some interesting matchups here. There's some interesting matchups, but I do see you guys having some issues here with Kittle and some issues here with McCaffrey as well.
Yeah, Kittle in the middle, and then you could put Debo, McCaffrey in the backfield. You can put them outside. You still got, like you said, Kittle in the middle of the field, and then you got Justin Juszczyk that they do check down to, and he gets very, very proficient yardage on check downs and does make first downs for them in key situations. So that's why I'm picking San Francisco, is because this offense is so diverse in what they can do. It's hard to prepare for.
Corey, I'm coming to you. So Ryan, you picked San Francisco. You picked Dallas to cover the spread.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, let's come to you. I want to have a specific question for you, and I want to get to your games. My specific question to you is you made a very good point with Daniel Jones turning into a pumpkin at 11. It's got to happen, right? This doesn't happen. Rookies don't take over as Mr. Irrelevant as the last pick of the draft, come in and win every game that they play from week 8 and go and win a Super Bowl, right? Like this doesn't when Corey, it's on you. Buddy.
It's so much familiarity with this game because you got Kyle Shanahan against Dan Quinn, who they used to be on the same team, and he was the offensive coordinator for them when they went to the Super Bowl with Atlanta. So the key is, I know they're going to be playing chess. The key for Dallas is they can't fall behind early, and you can't get Dak playing catch up. So if they, it'll be a disaster if Dallas falls, by 10 points or so earlier. Now they're playing catch up because they tend to abandon the running game once that happens. And you don't want Dak Prescott throwing the ball 40 times. You just don't want that. I don't want to tell on myself as far as how old I am, but this reminds me back when San Francisco used to play Dallas and they had Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, Aikman, Montana to Steve Young to Deion Sanders,
Ricky Waters,
man,
Roger,
man, I just have memories.
Hey, Novacek.
This could be a legendary game to go into the books like those games used to be, and I'm hoping that we get a good performance like that. Now, the big thing is they're not playing in Jerry's world. So, you're not going to get a single call in Jerry's world. And I don't think it'll be like that in San Francisco. And, if a ref would call a pivotal call against Dallas in Jerry's world, he'd probably be hung by a used jock strap in the locker room. It would just be, it's just ridiculous to play in Jerry's world or Lambeau Field. You just won't get a call. But man, I just, we've been praising Kyle Shanahan, and I agree he's the best coach in the league right now with his creative play calling, but I think Dallas is going to win this game. I think we're going to have the NFC East, NFC Championship, Dallas against Philadelphia. Ooh. And I think that'll be the NFC Championship. And I think that's going to be a banger right there. The third time that those teams play each other, I just think Dallas is going to win this game.
Corey, I want more from you. We're going to stick at you here for a second. This is a legacy game for Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
His legacy is on the line right now.
For
like
sure.
in a good way. And again, this is if he, I mean, he doesn't have much pressure. If he loses, it's not going to be as bad as it would have been if they would have lost last week. They won a playoff game. The pressure is going to die down a little bit. But if he wins this game in San Francisco against one of the best defenses in the league, I want to hear you talk about how because you grew up playing receiver. You've always have been telling me about receivers in the league when I was younger, when I didn't even know about. And I'm 10 years old, and you're like, watch how Herman Moore. Like, I mean, you know receiving, right? This
Slot
is a
back, maybe.
no. I'm not just saying from you playing. I'm also saying from you just watching.
Oh yeah.
Fan. This is a big game for CeeDee Lamb. This is he had his first top 5 season as a receiver. But a lot of people don't rank him. I mean, if you just think about it, it's us in general. Here, I'll take the share screen down so you can get the screen. Us in general, we don't talk about CeeDee Lamb like that. We know he's a good receiver, but when we start talking about best receivers in the league, CeeDee Lamb is down on the list. Not his own fault. He hasn't done it long enough, but he was top 5 receiver this year. How big is this game for him? Going against Ward, who is going to follow him around.
It's huge, man. I seen something in Dak Prescott's eyes last week. And I seen something in his eyes when he was being interviewed after the game. And I think he's on the mission to shut everybody's mouth. And I think they're going to have Diggs follow Deebo Samuel. Not to say that's going to be an easy task. I'm sure Deebo will get his at some point in the game. But if he can neutralize him, and, Christian McCaffrey, the golden goose, he's looking like Roger Craig out there.
Don't forget about Pollard, though. I think he's an X factor here. Pollard is an X factor.
Yeah, and that's the key. If Kellen Moore, like you said, Ryan. Did Ryan say that about Kellen Moore and his? They have to run the ball with Zeke and Pollard, and I think they will. I just think they will.
Big game for Zeke. Zeke is going to be in the backfield on most passing plays if they don't send the running back out to play, because he's a better pass blocker. And then also because Bosa and them are coming. Warren, they are going to get into the back.
Robert, but Bosa had 3 tackles, and I'm an Ohio State guy.
But that was Joey Bosa. This is Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa had 3 tackles and no sacks last week. Check his stats.
They doubled him all. I mean, I'm just
saying. They're going to double him this time.
Nah, I think they got Armstead. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is different. Bro. They show up, bro. Warner's going to be in the backfield. I mean,
I know Dak doesn't have the wheels like he used to following the surgery, but he still can move a little bit. And I just think he's savvy enough to know what's coming. And I think Dallas is going to win this game.
So my question is to you, I'm not disagreeing. I like the call. It's a sexy call. My question is to you also, though, is if you're Dallas, and I know you're going to say a combination of both, and that's great. But if you're Dallas, obviously you're going to throw the ball 65 to 70% of the time because you have to. Here's the matchup I want to ask you about specifically.
Why do you have to?
Throw the ball 65%?
You have to throw the ball 75% of the time.
60 to 75? Oh, yeah. You're going to need to. No, okay. Well, let's say a minimum of 60. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, minimum of 60. So they're going to be in 11 personnel and in the shotgun. So my question to you is that if you're Dallas, and I know that you could go back and forth, but if you're Dallas, do you try to put Pollard on the field more and send him out on more routes, even though you know that their nickelback and their linebackers can cover running backs like nobody else in the league? Hold on, hear me out. Or do you put Zeke back there, and do you focus more on sending out Lamb, Hilton, Gallup, and Schultz, and keep Zeke in there, as Zeke is a top 5 pass blocker running back in the league? What do you do? What do you do here?
I think Schultz is going to be a game changer. I think he's going to have 2 touchdowns. I think T. Hilton is going to get his money. And I don't, for some reason, I don't think CD Lamb is going to have a monster game. You know, they're going to key on him, and I think they're going to use other people, and that's going to be the X factor that takes him over.
And he has a top 5 cornerback in the league following him in the game too. Like, it's tough. You're right. It's tough.
I think T.Y. Hilton and Schultz are going to play big roles in this game.
Or if they don't, they can't win, right? I think this is going to be a team effort. Percy. So Ryan's got San Francisco, but Dallas to cover. Corey's got Dallas. Percy, what you got?
Hey guys, I would love to see a NFC East, NFC Championship. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Forget the spread. The Cowboys are going to win. I don't think Brock has it any. Brock is playing lights out, but I think I'm going with Parsons, man. I'm going with the home guy. I'm going with Parsons. I'm going with the Cowboys. Somehow, Jerry and them guys get it done. Lamb, over 1,300 yards receiving. I'm going with the Cowboys. The 49ers have many, many, many weapons, but I think if they get pressure on Brock, I think this might be the game that he folds. And I would love to see the Eagles and the Cowboys play in the NFC Championship.
You realize Seattle had no sacks last week, and they made him look like a reincarnation of Steve Young.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that the San Francisco's the top 5 offensive line in the league. I mean, they're built like this.
Dallas defense is built like this.
Yes, they are. Okay. George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Samuel, Purdy, McCaffrey, Williams on the offensive line, Banks on the offensive line, Shanahan calling plays, best defense in the league, at home. I like the Cowboys.
So the Cowboys,
After all that, after all those facts, you like the Cowboys.
I like the Cowboys, and the reason why I like the Cowboys, even though it's as I'm putting my analyst hat on and not my fan, I want to see the Cowboys lose. Obviously, I'm an Eagles fan, but
oh my gosh, you guys making me look like a traitor on this show.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Listen, obviously the line's the line for a reason, but
I think they did.
Living here in Dallas, even though I can't stand the Cowboys, I really have developed an admiration for Jerry Jones. Because I've worked for so many organizations that you have CEOs and owners that, you know, put a lot of profits before the organization or do things and just. I just know for a fact when you go over there in Frisco and you go to that practice facility with all those beautiful restaurants and all that money, that Jerry Jones, every single person that works in that franchise, from the cheerleaders to the people that put cheese on the nachos to everybody, knows that Jerry Jones wants to win games. That's what it is. It's every single person, the people that do the landscape, every single person. That's in his heart. It's not about the money. The money is a benefit, and it comes because of his admiration that he has for the game. Guys, the game is changing. The NFL is changing. The NBA is changing. You have teams that are getting bought out for $3, $4, $5, $10 billion. And to have that much money, you're going to start losing some of these owners like the Dr. Busses, who are genuine Americans who grew up with a dream and they put winning above everything, and they want to win. It's the thing of wanting to win games. They want to win games. these billionaire tech guys who are coming in with, there's nothing wrong with them, and they have an admiration for the game, but just understand Jerry Jones it's not, he's on phone calls talking to people about injury reports for cornerbacks, okay? Like, he's an owner who cares. Like, he cares about winning, okay? Not about money, about winning. He wants to win. And I don't want to see him accomplish too much, but what is he, 78 years old?
You don't think he's meddlesome?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think he's meddlesome, but I think he's meddlesome like Al Davis, where the meddlesome doesn't come in on trying to screw people over money. The meddlesome comes in for him trying to win games. Okay? And you know what? I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that. I can live with that.
If Dallas loses, is McCarthy out of there?
No,
he bought himself another year. Okay,
No,
how about this?
He's not.
How about this? No. Let me say this, because this is Jerry Jones. This is one of the richest people in the world.
Yep.
If Sean Payton behind the scenes says, I'll come there, McCarthy is gone. And Jerry Jones has that kind of pull to do something like that. And if Sean Payton says no, because Sean Payton's a very good guy. Sean Payton is the kind of guy that might not even want to be there, because it's like, wait a minute, McCarthy just won a playoff game and you're talking about bringing me in? Like, nah. And also looking at that roster, if I'm like Sean Payton, I might go out to LA.
Do you think Sean Payton's a bit of a control freak, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So do you think he's going to tolerate Jerry Jones upstairs trying to tell him to make a football move when he's the coach, sort of like Jimmy Johnson?
But he was there, but he's been there, though. He's been there and he's seen the only coach that took control over Jerry Jones, and that was Bill Parcells.
Yep.
So he's been there during that. And also the other thing about Peyton is that he'd be the only person who's coming in with the kind of pedigree. McCarthy came in with some pedigree, but not pedigree. No, anybody could have hired McCarthy. Sean Payton is on the top of every single person's list that wants a coach. Yep. And all I'm saying is that they may bump heads and things like that, but there's enough people around Jerry now, and he feels like he's kind of like, this is like his last hurrah to kind of be like let the man who's done this before from the GM office all the way down. I mean, Sean Payton was running the show in New Orleans. I mean, he was one of the longest tenured coaches that ever did this in the NFL and in New Orleans, and he brought that city a fucking super. They brought a freaking Super Bowl, and that was a big deal for New Orleans, huh?
He also brought him Bounty Gate too.
Oh yeah, you did. But they don't care about that. They care about winning. But the point that I'm making, and Corey's making a really good point. But the thing that I'm saying about Jerry and this franchise is that it's a feeling of that. I believe that Dak, like you said, Corey, has something to prove. I think that, I'm sorry to say this, Ryan, because he is Ohio State guy, and he ran for over 300 yards against the Crimson Tide in a playoff game. And then he went on to win a college football championship. This might be Zeke Elliott's last game in Dallas.
Yeah.
And because I just don't think with the $6 million thing that you guys are probably going to cut him. You got Tony Pollard. Like this could be it. And Dak and Zeke are best friends. They're really best friends, because I know this because they live in Prosper. They live 10 minutes away from me.
Yep.
And people see them. They're really best friends.
Yeah, they're everywhere together.
This means something. This game means something. And I just feel like that this is a big one. And I don't think I'm waiting for Purdy. And I'm playing odds too. I'm putting my analyst hat on, and I'm just saying, like, unless this guy is Ben Roethlisberger or Tom Brady, the odds are increasing every week. I mean, if we just want to stay and start really playing analytical game and why I'm picking the Cowboys, he's won 9 games in a row. He's 9-0 as a starter, as the last pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. The percentage of him losing a game is rising every week. This can't happen. And, if he does, I tip my hat to him. But I believe that Dak and them, the defense is good. Your defense is good. You have Diggs. You have Parsons. Parsons is the best pass rusher in the league, in my opinion. I believe that Parsons is a better pass rusher than Myles Garrett. And I like him more than Myles Garrett because you can put him in coverage too. And Myles Garrett can't play coverage or zone. He can rip people's helmets off, and he is a beast. He is a beast. He is a beast. He is a problem. He changes games. But Parsons is a monster.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a very interesting game, and it's one that I'm looking forward to watching. Is there anything else that anybody wants to say about this game? This is why we do this, guy. I mean, there's some very interesting game. There's some very interesting stuff here. I mean, goodness gracious, you got Hurts playing his real first meaningful playoff game besides playing against Tom Brady. He's going to finish second this year in MVP voting. You got the Allen versus Burrow part due because they played 3 weeks ago and didn't finish the game.
Yeah,
it's in Buffalo. You have Diggs versus Chase. you have Ward versus CD Lamb. You have Parsons versus Williams. You have Mahomes versus Trevor Lawrence in his second year. Can he duplicate what Burrow did in his first year? You got Doug Peterson playing Andy Reid, his mentor. And Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl for Philadelphia, and Andy Reid couldn't close it out.
Doesn't Andy Reid always beat the people that was under him?
Yes, it's like a Bill Belichick thing. He beats them down. Yeah. But Doug Peterson is the only coach that's ever been in an Andy Reid tree that's won a Super Bowl too. And he's won one with Nick Foles. He's done this before. And if there's anybody that I would want to cross that sideline, there's nobody that knows Andy Reid.
Man, but you got the NFL Houdini. You got David Copperfield as far as Mahomes, and I just think that's going to come to he's going to do one of those plays where he's scrambling and he throws the ball between his legs or behind his back or something silly.
Of course.
And it's going to be a game-changing play, and I just expect something like that to happen.
Oh, no, I think that they're 100% going to win the game. I'm just saying from a matchup perspective, these things, I mean, and let's be honest too, guys. Is Lawrence going to be, now he's not ready for this, but like we named Mahomes, we named Burrow, we named Allen, and obviously we think the kid from LA has some more things to prove, right? We think that he has some more things to prove, but keep getting named in the top 5 every single year. We think he's got a ways to go. But Trevor Lawrence here, he's not in that category.
Mr. Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah. Who? Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's a fighter. I like his heart and his spirit, and he's a gunslinger, and I like him. I'm just saying he threw 4 interceptions in the first half.
And
you know what I mean? I understand what I'm saying. Jekyll and Hyde.
But you know who the last quarterback to do that was Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
And nobody's in here. You ain't gonna be disrespecting the king now.
No, I'm just saying, who knows? He might be like Andrew Luck and just retire out of the blue and just in 3-4 years in his prime, just retire.
Okay. And, I mean, but Andrew Luck's still going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean,
I like Andrew Luck.
Okay, all right. But all I'm saying is just the matchups and things are just it's crazy. You have Saquon Barkley in a contract year. You have Daniel Jones in a contract year. You got to pay them both. You said Saquon Barkley wasn't going to get that money. You really think that? I think they're going to give him. I am 100% positive that he is going to get a very small contract. He will get he's hurt. He'll get a 3-year, $20 million. After the guys, come on, guys. Look at running backs contracts. Look at running backs contracts since Zeke. Okay. Like
he doesn't have to say yes. I mean, if they offer that, I don't think he'll just say, "Oh, sure." I think he's going to want value.
That's the problem. Is I don't think that anybody. This isn't just this is a league wide thing. The running back is the most underpaid position in the league. I don't see. You think okay? You're a GM owner, GM with me. You're
Yeah.
gonna go get what kind of years are you gonna put his contract?
3.
He's missed over half of half of the games that he can play in a
There's-
5-year contract. What
Didn't he miss
how many
his-
years are you gonna put on it? I mean, let's talk about it.
I'd give him 4. I wouldn't.
Are you looking at running back contracts?
If you give him, you probably insult him with trying to get him a 3-year contract, and he may just go somewhere else.
But nobody's going to
unless you just want to lose him.
Yeah, but nobody's going to give him a 4. You're not going to
How do
give
you
him.
know?
Name the last 4-year running back contract. Please,
I don't have the
all
numbers in
years.
front of me, so I can't front like I'm looking at that right now. But I'm saying,
Name
I'm
the
sure
last running back that was drafted in the first round. I mean, think about
It's
it.
a team that'll give Saquon Barkley a 4-year contract. I'm not saying 5, 4. It's an insult to say 3, I think, to a guy like that. He's just such a dynamic game changer.
He hasn't played half of his games, Corey. It's a running back. They're already misvalued. They're already down on the low totem pole. How about this? Here's another point for you. He will be the first, in my opinion. And it's not, and by the way, we can pull statistics where I'll show you it's not that educated of a guess. This is like almost 99.9% that's going to happen. He was the second pick of the draft. Okay. So we had one of the highest rookie contracts. Okay. He will be the first running back that was picked in the first round that will get a extension of his rookie deal. That means same team, not getting kicked to the team, an extension of his rookie deal that's going to be less. We're getting off here in a second round. It's going to be less than his original deal. Brian, can you pull his original deal for me really quick? Isn't that sad?
I can't see that happening. He'll leave before that happens.
It's not even an argument, Corey. His no one will give him a.
You think they'll give Daniel Jones the money and not?
They'll give him no. He will not make a quarterback. He will be the lowest extension of a quarterback that ever happened after his 5-year season that is extended to the same team.
I can agree with that.
He will not get paid like Kyler Murray. He will not get paid like Russell Wilson. He will not get paid. He's going to get a 3-year 120. Like he's not going to get a 5-year 250. That ain't happening.
Man, they're going to have to franchise tag Saquon Barkley. If they offer him some kind of trash contract, he's leaving.
Okay. And we go draft another quarterback. I mean, what? This has happened a million
You act
times.
like it's that easy to get a guy like that?
Yes.
Look around the league.
Dude, they feel that way in the league. Okay, so just so you know, his 5 years, oh gosh. So just here's his contract. 5 years with his rookie contract. 5 years, 38 million, 20 million signing. 5 years, 50 mil. You think that somebody is going to give Saquon Barkley a $50 million contract?
I don't think so. I just don't see it. Not with what
It is
not with the way the market is going.
Is that what he made? 50 million?
Remember, I said it's because he was picked second in the draft, bro.
Second overall? Yeah.
Second overall. He's not picked like Purdy and making $400,000 or $500,000 a year. He's the second pick of the draft. So he got a guaranteed $50 million contract. He ain't getting a $50 million. He ain't getting a $20 million signing. He ain't getting a $50 million contract. We'll make bet who. I'm open bets. Like he definitely ain't getting a 5-year contract.
Hey, there are NFL teams that do a lot of strange things. So
True.
If they want him
Hey,
back,
running back $50 million. The only team that ever did that was in the last like 10 or 15 years has been Zeke Elliott. And the only reason that they did that was because he led the league in rushing for like 4 years in a row. And they were like, and then he went to Cancun and held it out. and Jerry Jones was pressured to do it because they thought that they had a Super Bowl season that year. So anyway, all right. So we're gonna get off, guys. This has been great. Listen, guys, this has been I'm talking to you three right now. Like, forget everybody else who's listening right now. This has been truly enjoyable for me. Like, this has been fun for me. And it's nice to be able to do this. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, because this is going to be something that I look back on, and it's nice. This is a big weekend.
Yeah, I can't wait.
This is a big weekend for football.
Wait, I want to see every game. I want to see every snap of every game.
Heck
Yeah, and I'm just excited. And Percy, please send over all the receipts of the games you're betting and all that kind of stuff. And remember, we're doing it on FanDuel. We are doing it on FanDuel.
FanDuel.
Oh, Percy, on another note, I have a couple questions. Maybe you can school me, because I want to place a couple bets too.
Yeah. You guys got to talk about that offline. But yes, we're doing it on FanDuel. Okay. And just remember, guys, that it is illegal to gamble in certain states, and we these bets are being made through FanDuel in certain states. So thank you guys very, very much for joining us on the podcast. We hope you guys have such a blessed weekend. And what we've said before, and what we will continue to say, is that if you listen to the news, and you listen to the media, and you listen to a lot of the rhetoric that's going on in a lot of news stations, if you really talk to people, it doesn't matter if you are a Republican, a Democrat, a black, a white, an Asian, a green person, if you really truly get to know people and you really truly talk to your neighbor, you're going to find out that there is a lot more that we have in common than we have differences. I hope that we were able to make you smile, maybe make you laugh, maybe reminisce about the way that you grew up and some of the teams and some of the matchups that are coming back. It's going to be a fun weekend for us. We hope that you guys have a fun weekend. Stay safe to everybody that's out there that's going to the games and tailgating and having a good time. Cheer for your teams. Be nice to people. Be nice to people, guys. Be nice to people. I hope everybody stays safe. Is there any closing thoughts that you guys want to leave us with?
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah. How about the Bears? Go ahead, Percy.
Can't wait to hear all the Dallas people, call me out for being a traitor. So it's going to be good.
Look, man, it's going to be another great weekend of football. Make sure you guys tune in next week for the recap and for those divisional games. But let's go Jacksonville.
God bless you guys. Good night. Thank you.